Welcome back to Out channel. In this video, we explore the most valuable US coins that could transform your coin collection into a fortune. From rare mint errors to historic treasures, these coins have made millions for collectors around the world. We dive deep into the story of a rare American coin, one that has transformed ordinary folks into overnight success stories, and might just do the same for you. This is the 1998 D Mint Mark George Washington silver quarter dollar. Its value? Sky high. Its story? Even better, back in 1998, the US Mint released millions of quarter dollar coins. But something unexpected happened at the Denver Mint. A small batch, an incredibly small batch, was accidentally struck using 90% silver planchets intended for collector sets, instead of the standard clad composition. Think of it like this: imagine someone accidentally serving Dom Perignon at a kid's birthday party. Yeah. That kind of mistake. But here's the kicker: most people who got their hands on these rare quarters never realized their value. They spent them on vending machines, gas station coffee, or gum. Yes, a $635,000 mistake, made over chewing gum. Fast forward to today, collectors, dealers, and even wealthy investors are paying a fortune for this exact error coin. Current verified market value, $635,000 and rising, but here's the chilling part: there may be only a handful left in circulation. And that means every second you wait is a second someone else finds it first. If you're like most Americans aged 30 to 65, you've probably got a jar of coins in your kitchen, your car, or tucked away in a forgotten drawer. You may even have inherited some from your parents or grandparents. And buried in that pile could be the ticket to a completely different life. Now I know what you're thinking. Sure, buddy. And I've got a magic beanstalk in my backyard too, but seriously, did you know that one man almost threw his 1998 D silver quarter in a Coinstar, until a local dealer spotted it and changed his life with a six-figure check? Talk about a jackpot without even buying a lottery ticket. Imagine what $635,000 could do for your life right now: pay off your mortgage, retire early, travel first class across Europe, or finally start that dream business you've always talked about at the dinner table, and all it takes is a moment to check your quarters. Key features of the $635,000 coin: laughing face. Mint Mark 1998 date 6.25 grams, instead of the usual 5.67 grams, solid silver edge, no copper layer visible, distinct ring when dropped on a wooden surface. Yes, it sounds more expensive too, don't wait. Every week, more coins are being discovered and sold. The window is closing. And if you don't check, someone else will. In our next video, we'll uncover the even rarer quarter that makes this one look cheap. You won't believe what it's selling for. Check your 1998 quarters. Look for the D Mint mark and silver features. If you think you found one, don't spend it, get it appraised immediately. Subscribe, drop a comment if you found an old coin recently, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next millionaire maker coin we reveal. What if that coin is already sitting in your drawer, forgotten, aging, gaining value? Because here's the thing: people are walking away from life-changing money simply because they don't know what they have. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the real treasure, and how to turn old coins into a wealthy lifestyle. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Let's rewind the clock. It's 1983. America is just catching its breath. After a turbulent economic decade, Ronald Reagan is president. The first mobile phones are the size of a brick. And a tiny quarter is being minted at the Philadelphia Mint, one that few would suspect held any special value. But here's the twist: in 1983, due to the US Mint's budget cuts, no official mint sets were released. Which meant no pristine, collector-grade coins were distributed. Most coins from that year entered circulation immediately, facing scratches, wear, and the rough hands of time. This made high-grade 1983 quarters, especially with a P Mint mark, incredibly rare, and rarity means value. Ever seen someone toss a quarter into a tip jar without thinking? You may want to dive into that jar like it's a pot of gold next time. Let me ask you a question: have you ever thrown out a scratch-off ticket? Before checking the numbers, well, that's exactly what people are doing with these quarters, and here's the catch: not every 1983 quarter is valuable, only those with specific traits, like full strike details, sharp lines in Washington's hair and the eagle's wings, minimal wear, meaning it was somehow kept from heavy circulation, rare die varieties, like double dies or misalignments, and the big one. A few were accidentally struck on silver planchets, rather than the usual copper nickel. These are the holy grails, fetching up to $635,000 at auction, yes, silver, in a year when none were supposed to exist. That it's the coin-collecting equivalent of finding a golden ticket. For every coin that made headlines, there were hundreds more lost in time. Cashed in. Melted down. Traded for a pack of gum, gone forever. The people who had them never even knew how to know if you're sitting on a goldmine. So what should you do? Check your change. Start with the coins sitting in jars, boxes, old wallets. Look for the year, 1983, with a P mint mark. Examine the details. Look for sharp, full strikes and signs of preservation. If it looks promising, don't clean it. Ever. Cleaning destroys value. Then, consult a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Certification can take a 25-cent coin to a six-figure investment, and if you find the real deal? Here comes the urgency. These coins are rare, but interest is booming. Collectors are actively hunting them. Auctions are heating up. The market won't stay this high forever. Are you about to walk past a fortune sitting in your own home, that dusty drawer, the old piggy bank, your dad's coin jar? You could already own the key to a wealthier life, but you won't know until you look at SO before you go. Subscribe for more secrets hidden in your pocket change. Like if you've ever found an old coin. Comment below if you want a free checklist to spot valuable quarters, because next week, we're diving into another overlooked coin that's turning ordinary people into six-figure sellers overnight. Here's a sophisticated, emotionally engaging YouTube script for a faceless 10-minute video about the 1971 D mint mark George Washington silver quarter that uses the three-act storytelling structure, with emotional triggers, pattern interrupts, cliffhangers, and seamless transitions. This 1971 quarter is worth $685,000. Are you sitting on a goldmine? There's a coin in circulation right now that most people wouldn't give a second glance. Just 25 cents. A $0.25. A simple piece of change. But this isn't just any quarter. This one, minted in 1971, bearing a humble D, is hiding a secret that could make you a millionaire overnight. Yes, a coin that could buy you a coffee, could also buy you a mansion. Let me ask you, have you checked your coin jar lately? Or are you still holding on to that lucky quarter in your glove box that's actually just collecting lint and broken dreams? In 1971, the United States Mint in Denver produced millions of Washington quarters. But among these, a handful, just a few, were struck on silver planchets that were never meant to exist. A minting error. A mistake. And today? That mistake is worth a staggering $685,000. You see, the US stopped making silver quarters in 1964. But in a rare twist of fate, some leftover silver planchets found their way into the 1971 production run. These quarters look ordinary, until you weigh them, test them, or hear the unmistakable ping of silver. Yeah, that's not just your lucky coin, that's your early retirement. So, why haven't you heard about this before? Because it's hidden in plain sight. Thousands of these coins are still floating in private collections, old coin jars, and yes, even junk drawers across America. But here's the catch: identifying one isn't easy. These quarters don't wear signs that say, "Hey, I'm worth $685,000. Although, if they did, this video would be a lot shorter, right? These coins weigh 6.25 grams, heavier than the 5.67 grams of standard clad quarters. And when you test them, they show a 90% silver content. That's your jackpot trigger. But before you run to your change jar with a scale and a magnet, let's talk about how dangerous it can be to sell a valuable coin without knowing its true worth. Every day, collectors and resellers lose thousands of dollars because they let dealers undervalue their treasure. The market for rare coins is booming, and right now, wealthy investors are turning to physical assets, like rare silver quarters, to hedge against inflation. And if you think $685,000 is the ceiling, just wait till you hear about a bidding war that nearly broke records. Imagine the freedom of knowing you've been sitting on a life-changing asset. No stock market chaos. No lottery tickets. Just a tiny piece of American history that could give you the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. So here's your game plan. If you suspect you have a 1971 D quarter, get it tested professionally. Look for reputable coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. Document everything. Then, and only then, start connecting with verified auction houses. As more of these coins are discovered, the rarity, and the price, will drop. The clock is ticking. The time to act is now. Or hey, keep using it in vending machines. Just don't be surprised if your bag of chips cost you a new Tesla. You've got one life. One shot to turn something forgotten into a future of financial freedom. So check your coins, get them tested, and don't just dream of wealth, uncover it. What if I told you that a small, forgotten coin sitting in your junk drawer could be worth almost $1 million? A 1990 D George Washington quarter dollar, yes, just a regular-looking coin, sold for $975,000. And there's a reason why collectors and investors are going absolutely wild trying to get their hands on one. But here's the twist, it's not just about what the coin is, it's about what makes it different, and how you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Have you ever vacuumed up something valuable and pretended it never happened? Yeah, this might be worse. Stick around. Let's rewind the tape to 1990. The Gulf War was beginning. The Simpsons had just aired its first season. And the Denver Mint quietly produced a batch of Washington quarters, just like they had for decades, but then, something odd happened. A few quarters from this batch, marked with a small D under Washington's ponytail, began showing up with peculiar traits, off-center strikes, double dies, rare silver planchets used by mistake. These weren't your everyday quarters. They were flukes of history, and in the collecting world, flukes can turn into fortunes. Most people didn't notice. They spent them. Tossed them into tip jars, but a few sharp-eyed collectors knew something was off, and that is where the legend began. Let me ask you something. How many old coins do you have lying around in jars, drawers, or dusty boxes in the garage, because one of them might have that elusive D, and a rare error that transforms it into a collector's holy grail? If you're thinking, great, now I have to check under the couch cushions too, you're not wrong. A 1990 D quarter was recently graded by PCGS as MS-68, an incredibly high mint state. This one coin, yes, a coin you might have used to pay for a soda in the 90s, fetched $975,000 at auction. Why? It wasn't just the mint mark. It was the condition. The silver composition. The rarity. The timing, and here's the scary part, there could be more out there. Right now. Sitting unnoticed. Unloved. Unclaimed. This is why thousands of coin collectors and private investors are scrambling to sift through quarter rolls from banks, estate sales, and antique shops, because time is running out. The market is heating up, and as more of these rare quarters are found, the value of each one begins to shift. Scarcity builds pressure, and pressure creates profit. Now, let's imagine something for a moment. You're sitting in your kitchen, you dump out that old box of change that's been ignored for years, your eyes land on a slightly worn quarter with a D mint mark, you squint, flip it under a lamp, and your heartbeat speeds up. You send it in for grading. The results: mint state. Rare die error. 90% silver planchet. Auction bids start rolling in. One buyer offers $600,000. Another jumps in with $800K. The final sale? Nearly $1 million. And just like that, your dusty drawer just bought your dream home. Sounds like fantasy? It isn't, but it only happens when you take action. Check your 1990 quarters, especially those with the D mint mark, look for mint errors, silver tone, or high detail, get it graded by a reputable company, PCGS or NGC. Don't sell to the first offer. Know your coin's true value, and if you're wondering where to begin, don't worry, I've got a bonus guide in the description to walk you through the whole process. This isn't just about finding a rare coin. It's about transforming your life with something you already have. It's about seeing value where others only see pocket change. So go check your drawers. Dig through those coin jars, because wealth doesn't always knock on the door, sometimes it jingles in your hand. What if I told you there's a coin, yes, a simple quarter, you might already own, that could be worth more than your car, your house, even your retirement savings? The 1979 George Washington $quarter. Sounds like fiction, right? Well, buckle up, because the truth might just change your life. Imagine reaching into your junk drawer and pulling out a coin worth $685,000. Sounds absurd. Let me ask you, when was the last time you really looked at your coins? Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's talk about how this coin could unlock the life you deserve. Wealth, freedom, and yes, finally telling your boss, I'm out. In 1979, the U.S. Mint struck millions of George Washington quarters. But among the ordinary, was the extraordinary. Most were copper nickel. Common. Forgettable, but a tiny handful, from the Denver Mint, marked by that humble little D, were struck with a rare, experimental silver alloy. A mistake? A test run? Or something more? Whatever the origin, these coins are the stuff of legend. Today, one of them, graded in near-perfect condition, was valued at $685,000. And yes, that's a quarter with 5 zeros. Somewhere, George Washington is raising his eyebrows. Why so much? It comes down to three things: rarity, demand, and the story behind it. And here's where it gets wild. Coin collectors, dealers, and even hedge fund investors are now chasing these rarities. Why? Because physical assets, like rare coins, are booming in value as paper currency declines. If you think this is just about a coin, you're missing the bigger picture. This is about wealth protection, legacy, and seizing a moment that may never come again. Not all 1979 quarters are worth millions. In fact, 99.9% are worth exactly 25 cents. So how do you know if you've got the golden goose? We'll get to that. But first, have you ever accidentally thrown away $500,000? Yeah. You might have, without even knowing it. It comes down to mint errors, die varieties, and condition, terms most people overlook. There are subtle markers, almost invisible to the untrained eye. A double die reverse misaligned strike-off metal composition. Collectors call these the unicorns. And they're hiding in plain sight. Maybe in your drawer. Maybe in your attic. Maybe in your wallet right now. So what do you do if you think you have one? Don't clean it. Ever. That's like washing off a Picasso with Windex. Get it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC can determine authenticity and value. Connect with a reputable numismatic dealer or auction house. And always get multiple evaluations. This isn't a garage sale, this is your legacy. And hey, if your cousin tries to offer you $10 for it, politely decline, then block him. These coins are running out. Each one found makes the next even rarer. Right now, collectors are paying record highs, and that window won't stay open forever. The market is heating up. The clock is ticking. And the next millionaire could be you. Look, most people will never take this seriously. They'll laugh, scroll away, toss their change jar under the bed, but not you, because you're not looking for pocket change, you're looking for real change. Check your 1979 quarters, look for the D. Educate yourself. And start treating your coins like the assets they are. Hit subscribe if you're ready to unlock the hidden wealth in your collection. Drop a comment if you found something rare. We may just feature you in our next video. What if I told you, a tiny piece of silver in your pocket could be worth $685,000 right now? Sounds crazy, right? But somewhere in America, someone is sitting on a 1989 D mint mark George Washington silver $quarter, and they don't even know. This isn't just spare change. It's a life-changing fortune in disguise. So before you drop another coin into the vending machine, stop. Watch. And listen, because the quarter in your junk drawer, it might just make you a millionaire. Most of us grew up hearing, a penny saved is a penny earned. But what if that penny, or in this case, quarter, was worth hundreds of thousands? In 1989, the Denver Mint released what looked like an ordinary quarter, George Washington's profile. The D Mint mark. Just like millions of others, but among those millions, a few rare errors slipped through. These weren't supposed to be silver. But due to a rare minting mistake, some were struck on silver planchets instead of the standard copper nickel, and that's what turns a 25-cent coin into a $685,000 treasure. Imagine trying to use that coin to buy a pack of gum. That's like trading a Ferrari for a hot dog. With no mustard, these rare silver quarters are the holy grail for collectors, and yes, they're out there. In coin jars. Attics. Inherited boxes from grandma, and they're being found and sold for life-changing money. But how do you know if you have one, and why is this coin suddenly exploding in value? Now, let's break it down. The 1989 D Washington quarter is supposed to weigh about 5.67 grams, but the silver era version, lighter. Around 6.25 grams. It rings differently when dropped. Has a sharper edge. A brighter luster, and the biggest clue, no copper core. If you look at the coin's edge and don't see that classic copper sandwich, you may have something special. When's the last time you actually looked at a coin's edge? Be honest. Probably right after you tried to bite one to see if it was chocolate, but here's where it gets real. A few years ago, a lucky collector discovered one such quarter in a mixed lot at a garage sale, paid $3 for a box of coins, sold that quarter for $575,000 at auction. Another sold just last year $4,685,000. And here's the thing, these aren't coins buried in museums or bank vaults. They're in ordinary homes, hidden in collections people don't even realize they have. So, how do you cash in? What's the step-by-step process to authenticate, appraise, and sell this coin for top dollar? First, don't clean the coin. Ever. Cleaning can lower the value dramatically. Use a jeweler's scale to check the weight. If it's over 6 grams, keep it safe. Check the edge. No copper. Big sign. Take clear, high-resolution photos. Submit it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services will certify and encapsulate your coin, instantly boosting its value. Think of them like Tinder for coins. Only instead of getting ghosted, you get offered 6 figures. Once authenticated, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers can take it from there. They market your coin to high-end collectors, often driving bidding wars, all while you sit back and let your quarter work for you. Imagine paying off your mortgage, starting a business, leaving your 9-to-5. All because you decided to check that old coin jar. But here's the million-dollar question. What if there are other coins like this in your home right now? Not just quarters, but nickels, dimes, even pennies worth tens of thousands. You've seen the proof, you know the signs, and now, you know what to do. That coin you walk past every day might be the key to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. So don't just sit on a fortune, take action. Dig deep. Check your coins, and who knows, you just might be holding your first $1 million moment. Want to know the top 5 most valuable coins hiding in your house right now? Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch our next video. $1 million pennies you might own right now. Don't let your wealth stay hidden. Dig it up. Discover it. And live it. Imagine using $635,000 to feed a parking meter. That's not just pocket change. That's a down payment on a legacy. In 1980, at the Philadelphia Mint, something rare happened. Among millions of coins, a small batch of George Washington silver $quarter left the mint marked with a simple P. But what makes one of these coins worth over $600,000 today? The answer is in the metal, the mark, and a mistake no one noticed for over 40 years. Most people will toss this coin away without a second glance. That could be the biggest financial mistake of their lives. First, let's get one thing straight. Not all 1980 quarters are valuable. You're looking for a very specific version, minted in Philadelphia, with the elusive P mint mark, and crafted in 90% silver, a composition that wasn't even standard at the time. But there's one detail that skyrockets this coin's value above all others, and it's not what you think. No, it's not because George Washington gave it a wink. Though that would be impressive. You see, collectors crave imperfections, double die errors, off-center strikes, and proof-like finishes where there shouldn't be. These quirks tell a story. And story sells. In 2024, one of these very quarters stunned the numismatic world, selling for a jaw-dropping $635,000 at auction. That's not just money, that's life-changing capital. So here's the million-dollar question: do you have one of these rare 1980p mint mark silver quarters? Pull out your change jar, drawers, or old coin collection, look for the year 1980 and a P on the obverse, examine it for silver sheen, a dull gray tone, slightly heavier feel, check for errors, double lettering, off-center strike, or mirror-like shine. Underscore, but what if you do find it? What then? That's where the magic begins. A verified rare coin can open doors, private appraisals, elite collector circles, even six-figure bids. But act fast. The market for these coins is heating up, and as more are discovered, rarity drops, and with it, value. Would you rather hold onto it for nostalgia, or trade it for a lake house? You've just learned what most people never will, that wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket. Subscribe now, because next week, we uncover another coin worth over $1 million, and it's even more common than the one you just saw. Hint, it's not a quarter, and you probably used it to buy coffee last month. What if I told you that the tiny silver quarter sitting in your junk drawer could be worth more than your house? No, this isn't a dream. And no, you're not being pranked. This is the true story of the 1984 D mint mark George Washington silver quarter, a coin recently valued at over $635,000. And why thousands of Americans like you are quietly becoming millionaires, one forgotten coin at a time. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you actually looked at your spare change? That little pile of coins on your nightstand could be a buried treasure. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Come on, it's just 25 cents. But here's the kicker: not all quarters are created equal. Some are whispering fortunes to those who know how to listen. In 1984, at the Denver Mint, a batch of Washington quarters was struck, silver-clad coins with subtle minting quirks, slight anomalies, and rare finishes. Over time, these errors became goldmines for collectors. And one particular coin recently shattered expectations at a private auction. But we'll get to that. Now, let's dive into the real mystery: what makes the 1984 D silver quarter so valuable? There are three key features collectors are obsessing over: the mint mark anomaly. The D is slightly misaligned or doubled on some coins. A rare silver planchet, while most quarters were copper-nickel clad, some were accidentally struck on leftover silver blanks. Deep cameo-proof finish, mirror-like fields with frosted details, on a circulation coin. Practically unheard of. It's like discovering your old flip phone is actually an unreleased prototype worth a Lamborghini. These features make the 1984 D quarter a numismatic unicorn. And as demand rises, so does the price. One just sold for $635,000. That's not pocket change, that's retirement money. Dreamhouse money. Walk away from your 9 to 5 money. Still think those old coins don't matter? The coin world is heating up. Every day, more of these hidden gems are found and snapped up. Prices surge, demand explodes, and opportunities vanish. But here's the million-dollar question: could you be sitting on one? Grab your change jar. Start checking every Washington quarter dated 1984 with a D mint mark, inspect for silver sheen and unusual weight. Silver coins weigh a bit more than modern ones. Look for that mint mark anomaly or frosted finish. Even minor variations can multiply value. Consult a professional coin grader or appraiser. This one step could unlock a life-changing payday. And please, for the love of fortune, don't spend it on a soda. You could be sipping champagne instead. This isn't just about finding a rare coin. It's about unlocking the wealth that's been quietly sitting in your life all along. You deserve that freedom. That legacy. That story of how a dusty quarter turned into a dream life. You don't have to chase wealth. Sometimes, it's already in your hand, you just haven't looked closely enough. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now eyeing your couch cushions like Indiana Jones, smash that like button, and subscribe for more coin secrets they don't want you to know. And remember, one man's quarter is another man's fortune. Here's a sophisticated, emotionally engaging, and conversion-oriented YouTube script for a faceless video about the 1995 George Washington silver quarter, structured using the 3-act storytelling framework and tailored for your 30 to 65-year-old American audience who are coin collectors, enthusiasts, or simply people looking to sell their coins and possibly change their financial future. This 1995 quarter is worth $635,000. Check your coins now before it's too late. You might be holding $500,000 in your junk drawer. No, this isn't a dream, and no, you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need one very specific quarter, minted in 1995, bearing a tiny D, and the potential to change your life forever. Sounds crazy? Well, crazy is exactly what happens when a 25-cent coin gets valued at $635,000, and it's happening right now in the US coin market. Stick around, because today we're diving into the astonishing story of the 1995 George Washington silver quarter, why it's shattering auction records, how you can spot one, and what it could mean for your wallet and your future. Let me take you back to the mid-90s. Michael Jordan was dominating basketball. AOL dial-up was the sound of the future, and the US Mint quietly produced millions of 1995 Washington quarters in Denver, Colorado. Most of these coins? Ordinary. Worth 25 cents. But a select few, and I mean very few, came out different. These were error coins, struck in 90% silver instead of the usual copper-nickel. These weren't supposed to exist. But somehow, a few slipped through the cracks. Let's be honest, how many of us have accidentally tossed hundreds of dollars in change into a couch cushion? Well, someone might have tossed $500,000 and not even blinked. So, what makes this coin worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the human obsession with mistakes. You see, the 1995 silver quarter is the perfect storm: an accidental silver strike, a low survival rate, and insane collector demand. Auction houses have confirmed one recently sold for $635,000. But there's a twist in this story, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Right now, collectors are desperately hunting these coins. Some even paying tens of thousands just for a beat-up version. But one in pristine condition? That's the million-dollar dream. You find a 1995 quarter in your drawer. You check the weight. You see the telltale signs. You send it in for grading, and bam, it comes back MS-67. In one moment, you go from paycheck to financially free. At that point, your biggest problem might be deciding between a beach house in Maui or a Tesla that drives itself. But don't grab your coin jar just yet. Let's talk spotting fakes and real signs of the jackpot coin. The 1995 quarter should weigh 6.25 grams, not the typical 5.67 grams. It should have a bright silver shine, not the dull gray of copper-nickel. And most importantly, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC, the two most trusted grading services. Remember that twist I mentioned? Some experts believe there may be fewer than 25 of these coins in existence. And many are still out there in circulation. Every day that passes, someone unknowingly spends a fortune at a vending machine. This isn't just about a coin. It's about recognizing hidden value, about changing your life with something you already own. Because wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street or a 9 to 5. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in a jar on your kitchen counter. Check your change. Look for the 1995 D, weigh it. Examine it. And if you think you've got a candidate, send it in for grading immediately. Or don't. And let your neighbor retire early instead. Hit the like button if you're now eyeing every quarter like it owes you rent. Subscribe for more hidden coin gems. And remember, the next coin we talk about might be sitting in your pocket right now. Next episode, we're uncovering a penny that recently sold for more than a Ferrari, and it might be even easier to find than this quarter. Don't miss it. What if I told you that a single quarter, yes, just 25 cents, could be the key to unlocking a six-figure fortune? Sounds like a fantasy, right? But for some, it's become a reality. The 1997 mint mark George Washington silver quarter is making waves in the coin world, and today, we're diving deep into why this seemingly ordinary coin is now valued at over $635,000, and why someone, possibly you, might be holding one without even realizing it. So, before you dump that jar of old coins at the gas station, you might want to hear this first: how a 25-cent coin could make you a millionaire. 1997 silver quarter exposed, builds curiosity. Establishes context, uses emotion. Let's rewind to 1997. Gas was $1.23 a gallon. Titanic was breaking box office records. And in Philadelphia, the U.S. Mint quietly struck a batch of George Washington quarters, but not all of them were the same. Most were common cupronickel coins, nothing special. But a rare few were struck in silver. Anomalies. Errors. Misprints. These were never meant to enter circulation, but a small handful did. These coins now carry a secret, and today, they're fetching as much as $635,000 at auction. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, 635 grand? For a quarter? That's like winning the lottery without even buying a ticket. And you're right, except the difference is, this lottery ticket is probably sitting in your kitchen drawer. The question is, would you even recognize it if you saw it? Education mixed with storytelling builds tension, adds excitement, and transitions naturally. Here's the twist: the 1997 mint mark George Washington silver quarter wasn't even supposed to exist. Silver wasn't used in quarters after 1964, except in rare commemorative issues. That's why collectors believe this version was a minting error, possibly created when leftover silver blanks were accidentally used. Imagine this: you're a mint employee, Friday afternoon, ready for the weekend, and boom, you grab the wrong blanks. That one mistake, worth over $500,000 today, and wait until you hear how one man found his in the most unexpected place. In 2021, a retired school teacher from Florida was sorting through his late father's coin stash. A simple habit, nothing more, but nestled between rusted pennies and old nickels, was the Holy Grail, a 1997 silver quarter. That quarter sold for $528,000 at auction. Today, its market value has surged to $635,000, and rising. Can you imagine explaining that to your accountant? No, Jim, my income this year came from laundry change. So how do you know if you have the right one? Delivers value, inspires action, ties emotional triggers, builds urgency, closes strong. First, check the mint mark. You're looking for a P for Philadelphia, just above the R in quarter. Then, look at the edge. Is it solid silver or does it have a copper strip in the middle? Finally, weigh it. A silver quarter should weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams. A digital scale can be your best friend here, but even if you think yours is a match, don't sell it to just anyone. Coming up in our next video, how to get your coin graded and avoid the most expensive mistake amateur collectors make. Here's the truth most people don't want you to know: the coins you ignore today could fund your retirement, your dream home, that luxury vacation, or simply Peace of mind, thousands of Americans are sitting on gold mines disguised as pocket change. And now, you know the signs. So what will you do? Subscribe now and hit the bell icon, because we're uncovering every hidden coin worth thousands. Drop a comment below if you're sitting on a stash of quarters. We'll help you spot the winners, and remember, your wealthy life might already be in your hands.